What do you think about a candidate that had all his social networks blocked? He was in first place. Is it the system? Who is actually damaging?
It has a chemical imbalance where it's addicted, will not be able to take care of a city and leave the argument aside. The the courts had basically a month ago cut all his social networks. About, I would say together, about 20 million people follow Mr. Pablo. He made a new he made a new Instagram that reached in a couple days almost 5 million or 7 million followers. This one was blocked just 2 days before election. He doesn't have money. He didn't have access to the federal um, money that campaigns have access to fulfill to pay for everything. No major endorsements, no coalition. As he used to say, it was just himself, a phone, the people, and God. That's very telling. And to those who know me, I'm not a big fan of Mr. Pablo. We did work together in the past, we did some business, but he's extremely a good communicator. And what is happening? It's absolutely a chaotic situation. To be honest, this is a prelude because he is very wealthy now, but they cancel him. If we talk about democracy, and there's a lot of similarity because everybody's saying he is a threat to democracy. Does it sound familiar? Trump is a threat to democracy, and he, well, let us think for a second. In that square, and this is very interesting. This is yesterday. He ran for about 50 kilometers. Okay. So he was running for 50 kilometers, was there 2 days ago. I actually went to a podcast where Pablo spoke last Monday. And this is the scene. So this is an interesting video. But he's talking about that they drop, you know, they blocked the third profile he had online. And that's the only voice. So any candidate that is running for an office, that of an important office, and is muzzled, not allowed to speak to the people, there's something wrong. He's really saying that the system is scared. And what is the system? There has been talking about the swamp, trying to swamp in the system, the deep state. But essentially, you have a bureaucracy and you have people around that bureaucracy. You have other politicians that clearly have too much power. You know, Honestly, when the democracy, when it was designed, it was supposed to be the government by the people, for the people. And we see this happening. And I see a clear connection. The US, Israel, Brazil. There is a movement happening. People like us. I myself, I always thought a lot of politics. I like it. But a lot of people think this is no big deal. A lot of Americans think that. But and I know you've heard that. You've heard that every election is important, and it is. And to the people in Brazil, a lot of these elections are important. You know, this is the same place. I was there 3 days ago, and this is where São Paulo started. It's right. This is the 0 point, and the first building. It's around that area, and then this is where Pablo spoke for, and we were discussing a lot of different things. But think of this: if they can do this with him, they can do it with everybody. in a few hours. So the concept is this: this guy here, Bolus, is a very left wing, very radical left wing. He was in first. When Pablo started, he became second. And now who knows whether he's second or third. There's some polls that put Bolos in second, Pablo in first. But anyway, we'll find out today. So this accusation and all the debates, and you probably heard that Pablo, and if you heard, but Pablo actually got hit. Pablo got hit. And I'm not joking. This was on live. This is on live on a debate. So he was literally hit by another candidate, and everybody normalized it. Sound familiar? And again, I'm not saying that a chair is the same thing as being shot at. That what happened with Trump twice. And it's important because we are looking live at things happening. And all of a sudden, this was normalized. It was normalized in Brazil. And there was some coverage abroad. But when you have the debate and all the rules keep like switching and changing so that one candidate is either help or has an advantage. We all know President Trump was what is happening in Brazil must be looked at. Brazil is the most important country in Latin America. A lot of resources, a lot of impact to the attention. And in a few hours, what happened was that everybody had, and this supposed proof that the publication Pablo did, it was false. And this is really weird, you know. And the fact of the matter is, we all must, we all must change. We need to look at everything that's happening, and we need to choose whether or not we want. Because so many people have died to make sure that this nation endure, that this system of governance I was just be discussed. But that's not really far behind if we don't do our part. That could happen. And to be honest with you, as Reagan said, we're just one